Naalala ko talaga, share ko lang since na-bring up mo ulit yung ano na yan,
Uh,
yung very first Pulp Summer Slam ko. Medyo late na ako dumating eh.
mm.
Naalala ko, as in, sobrang vivid ng memory na yun. So pagpasok ng gate, dati yung Pulp Summer Slam, sobrang mura ng ticket, sobrang daming banda
Saan to sa
naka-line up.
Amoranto?
Amoranto.
Uh,
Diba? Tapos, like, the ticket that you get, pag nagbayad ka ng Pop Summer Slam, so magkano lang yun? 500
500.
pesos? Tapos, yung 500 mo, ang kasama nun, may isa kang bote ng Red Horse,
Yeah.
may isa kang slice galing Pizza Hut,
May magazine ka ba? Meron magazine? Oh.
walang
Wala.
magazine,
Wala.
walang pinamimigay na magazine sa ticket. So, like,
Oh.
500 pesos, sobrang daming banda, may isang bote ng Red Horse,
Yeah.
may isang slice ng pizza from Pizza Hut, tapos may isa kang bote ng Pepsi. Tapos kung maaga ka dumating, may kasama pang bandana ng official Pop Summer Slam. Tapos may discount ka for a t-shirt. So, pag bigay ng ticket, kain ka agad yung pizza, inom ng Pepsi bottle. Yung Pepsi yung yung inihiyan ng mga tao, binabato nila sa mosh pit or sa stage. Kadiri rin kasi yung mga mga portalet doon. Sobrang dumi. So sa bote na umiihi yung mga tao, sinatapon na sa kung saan-saan. So after nun, takbo ako kasi kinain ko agad yung pizza, inom yung drink kasi pagdating namin, nag-set up na yung Kamikaze.
Kagulo
Tapos takbo ako sa t-shirt booth. Bumili akong t-shirt. Sinuot ko yung shirt, tumutugtog na yung Kamikaze. Tapos hawak-hawak ko yung beer. So hawak ko yung beer, pasok na sa mosh pit.
Yeah.
Parang first Summer Slam, salang ka agad. Tapos ayun, parang nagkaka-dust cloud na sa gitna ng Amoranto dahil nagmumos na yung mga tao, banggaan, nasiko ako sa mukha. Tapos maya-maya, parang sabi ng best friend ko. Yung best friend ko kasi yung mas nakakapunta doon dati.
Okay.
So parang nakailang Pulp Summer Slam na siya bago yung first time na nakasama ako. Sabi niya, ayan na yung mga fireworks. Ano fireworks? Pagtingin ko sa taas, may mga lumilipad na mga bote na may ihi. Umuulan na. Putang ina, bahala na.
Teka, parang nawala ako sa focus. Sorry. Sorry.
Pero,
yeah.
Pero yun, di ba, ang dumi. Tapos, sa graffiti, pati street art, meron kasi mga crew. So, may mga grupo-grupo rin kayo.
Oh.
So, pangalan ng crew namin, AFK. Usually, mga graffiti crew, abbreviation lang yan eh.
Okay.
Kasi kapag, let's say,
yun.
Ayun, okay. It's better now.
Yeah.
Like, kapag magtatag ka or magpipinta ka, i-represent mo yung crew mo, di ba? So, parang susulat mo. Katabi ng tag name mo, lalagay mo yung crew mo. Kami, AFK yung crew name namin. Tapos, ibig sabihin ng AFK dati, Angry Filthy Kids.
Okay.
Tapos, ganun talaga kami, ang dungis namin dati. Naalala ko, may mga ibang spot kaming pinipintahan before. Sobrang baho. As in, tataka parang batang baho. Parang naisip namin parang putik-putik kasi. Pero yung pala, hindi pala putik yung tinatapakan namin. Yung mga human waste na siya na parang nag-disintegrate. Tapos para sa, hindi ko alam kung alam yung term na burak. Para sa burak na.
Oo naman. Oo.
So parang gano'n, akala namin putik, sobrang dumi, sobrang baho.
Wild pare.
Nagpipinta lang kami. Tawa lang kami ng tawa nun eh.
Good
Kaya kami
times.
angry filthy kids.
Yeah.
Oh! Nakakatawa, ang dami namin mga spot stories na sobrang sketchy. May isa pa kami, share ko lang yung isang spot na naging iconic rin.
Okay.
Yung sa train station, di ba, may Betty Go Belmonte station.
Yes.
Dati sa tabi ng Betty Go Belmonte, merong isang malaking building na punong-puno ng graffiti.
Okay.
Inside out, puro graffiti yun.
Okay.
So parang yun free for all. So, pwedeng pumunta kahit sino. So, parang uurong mo lang yung yung harang ng konti sa baba, tapos papasok
Pasok ka
ka.
na. Oo.
Tapos, ang dami nagpipinta dun eh. Dati libre lang.
Oo.
Parang yung mga nag-squat dun,
Naningil na.
nagsimula sila ng maningil.
Ito, entrepreneurial. Ayos ah.
Dati pa 20-20 lang eh.
Oo. Tapos,
Pamahal ng pamahal.
yeah.
Tapos may one time, parang may malaki kaming paint session ng crew namin.
Oo.
Parang siningil kami almost 100 per head.
Laking negosyo na.
Laki. Tapos sketchy dun eh. So
Oo.
sira-sira na yung mga
Yeah,
hagdanan,
yeah.
nagdi-disintegrate na yung mga So kailangan maingat ka sa
Oo.
Tapos umakyat kami all the way sa rooftop. Tapos nakakatawa, parang dami namin mga nakikita kung ano-ano. Pagdating namin sa rooftop, paglabas ng staircase sa tuktok, may hindi ko alam kung sasabihin ko ba to, pero
Sige.
paglabas namin ng exit, may nagsistik sa gilid. Tapos parang nagkagulat lang kami. So tumigil sila, pero yung tigil nila, parang nakapatong pa rin sila sa
Tapos
isa't isa.
tumutuloy.
Hindi, parang nag-freeze lang sila, di na sila gumagalaw, tapos parang di na lang sila tumingin. Parang tumingin sa isang direction, sa takip ng kumot. Pero nandun pa rin sila, nakapasok pa rin. So, parang inan to.
So, taga, sila yung mga squatter doon o mga artist to?
Mga naka-squat doon.
Mga squat doon. Oo.
So, okay, parang, sige, bahala na kayo dyan. Paint na
Oo.
kami.
Oo.
Yung mga iba namin kasama, sa pinaka-tuktok talaga. Kasi, di na ako umakyat dun sa tuktok. Yung tipong sa may ledge na. Yung
Okay.
tipong pag tumingin ka sa baba,
Buwis buhay.
kalsada.
Oh, okay.
Buwis buhay. Di ako sumama dun sa tuktok eh. Dun ako sa
Oo.
ibang part. So ayun, paint kami.
Yeah.
Langya nung pauwi na. Like, when we went down on the way home na, kaya pala ang laki ng siningil sa amin ng mga nakasquat dun. Nagsasabu na sila sa baba.
Nag-aano?
So, nagsasabu.
Tangina yung pala yun.
So,
Buta
alam mo
na
yun,
may jamming pala sila doon, pare. Kaya kailangan nila na.
So, di ba parang, sorry, ang labo ng mga kwento.
Okay
Ito yung mga
okay.
nangyayari. Ito yung mga na-experience. So, third year high school?
Yeah.
So, di ba yung mga na-experience talaga namin ng best friend ko dati?
Ibang
Parang
mundo talaga, no?
stuff na hindi siya may experience na mga schoolmates namin.
Yeah.
Pero like, if you think about it, itong mga na-experience namin, normal lang to para sa mga tao sa labas. Alam mo yun? Ito yung reality ng karamihan ng mga tao outside ng mga circles natin.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like in a way, like, I'm really grateful na I got to experience those things, na nadaanan ko yung mga bagay na yun.
Yeah.
Kasi, eye-opener na ganito sa totoong mundo.
Yeah.
Or like, di ba, graffiti, street art. Again, it's illegal in nature. So, anything could go wrong kapag nag-trespass ka.
Yeah.
Or like kapag, like, if you go out at night to go bombing, anything could go wrong. Like, isa kong crewmate, nahuli siya pero private security.
Okay.
Pero sa totoo lang, private security is way worse than the police.
Why is that?
Because like the way I see it, the police have bigger fish to catch. They have better things to do than catch like a bunch of kids doing vandalism, di ba? Like sa totoo lang, mas madali baya.
Yeah.
Parang, di ba, parang easier to get away. Pero kapag private security guard, it's their job on the line talaga.
Yeah.
Kasi kapag Galing
Tama.
sila dun eh.
Tama.
So, like, naintindihan naman namin sa pinanggagalingan nila.
Yeah.
Pero minsan kasi mga private security, ang lakas mag-power trip.
Mm.
Isa naming crewmate, tinutukan sa ulo eh.
No shit.
Tapos mag-isa lang siya nun.
Fuck.
Wala siyang kasama, wala siyang spotter. So, alam mo
Crazy.
yun, parang
Crazy.
sinapak siya. Tapos tinutukan talaga siya sa ulo. And then, yung kinukwento niya nun, pinalinis sa kanya yung ginawa niya. So parang, okay, parang naintindihan ko naman yung part na, okay,
Yeah.
linisin mo yung kalat mo.
Yeah.
And that's a consequence na you have to accept if you're going to get into this, right?
Yeah.
So okay, diba? Alam naman namin bawal yung ginagawa namin na
Yeah.
nagkakalat kami. Pero
Yeah.
like, diba, parang, I think yung tututukan mo ng baril sa ulo, yung
Too much.
bata na
Way too
unarmed,
much. Yeah.
that's way too much.
Yeah.
And then pinalinis ng guard na yun sa kanya. Tapos the entire time na pinapalinis sa kanya, nakatutok lang yung baril.
Tangina, no? Crazy
Tapos wala
shit,
siyang
man.
wala siyang panlinis, may rubbing alcohol lang sa bag niya. Yun yung ginamit niya. Yung pinintahan niya, roll up, yung shutter,
Yeah.
shutter na
So, kailangan kutkutin niya yun.
inumaga siya doon, nagkukut-kut.
Damn.
He quit after that. Understandably so.
Yeah.
Diba? Like,
Trauma na siya talaga dun.
na-traumatize siya.
Yeah.
So, so alam mo yun, like, the risk is really there.
Yeah. Would you say na itong mga experiences na to talaga is critical, right, instrumental, 'di ba, to where you are now as an artist, right? I mean, to itong Distort Monsters, right? Itong Monster Mayhem. Is there an alternate universe wherein you didn't go through all of that craziness? Tas ito yung
I
output
don't,
mo.
hindi talaga. Like, I wouldn't be here today without that Holy Trinity.
Yeah.
Alam mo yun, like, iba siguro art. Like, hindi siguro. For sure, iba yung magiging art ko kung hindi ko pinagdaanan yung mga bagay na yun.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really glad I experienced all those things. Like going back to what I said earlier, I don't know if that was like before we started the podcast or
Which one?
that was already during the podcast, but like I was saying who we are now is a product of all our experiences. So that means both good and bad. So take one of those things away, like the outcome is going to be different.
Yeah.
To deny our past is to deny who we are now. So ayun, like I'm really grateful for all those things. Great. I mean, to a certain extent, I'm also grateful na my parents were the way that they were before. Because like otherwise, like I'd be in a whole different situation.
Fine arts, bro.
Maybe not. Baka lalo ako na-frustrate no, nag-quit na lang. Hindi ko kasi kaya mag-draw.
Baka graphic artist ka nun.
Legitimate na graphic designer na. Marunong ako mag-Photoshop. Hindi sana ako napahiya dun sa interview and practical exam.
Diba?
Grabe talaga yun.
Tangina tong bata na to. Tangina, sino ba to? Tangina.
Kasi sometimes, na-imagine ko, pinag-uusapan siguro nila,
Hindi, alam mo pare.
Ako yung bad example. Ako yung worst example of applicant.
Pare, if you think about it, like that story gets more interesting. Because as you grow your art, your brand, who you are, like, tangina, ito yun eh. Ito yung putang, ito yung nag-aksaya ng oras natin na tangina, wala namang alam eh.
Pare. Sinaya ko yung oras.
Diba? Pero,
Sobrang waste of time.
pero pare, yun yung maganda. Ang ganda ng twist na yun eh. In the end, in the end, pare, you're as legit as they come. Right? I mean, yung kadungisan mo, pare, yung pagka-filthy mo. Right? Fast forward to today, pare, imagine, did you ever imagine na may installation ka, pare, sa Jaime Velasquez Park in Salcedo
No,
Village,
like
Makati, right? Diba?
very, very prim and proper. It's very formal. Pero like no, like
Yeah, yeah,
honestly,
yeah,
hindi talaga.
yeah.
Alam mo, okay, like very candid naman kasi ako about myself. So like if I may share, so like for yung installation ko dun sa Art in the Park, they did a mini feature on me. So like they've been doing a number of interviews, like may video presentation pa silang ginawa about me and all these other things. Uh they yung video interview, like so like naging emotional ako sa interview na yun. So, sobrang surreal ng lahat. Like, I
Mm.
never imagined na I'd get to this point. Tapos, like, may part na sobrang natiri ay ako. Buti na lang kinat nila.
Bakit,
Nag-message rin ako
pare?
sa,
Naikat nila.
sabi ko, uy, parang huwag nyo naman isama. Hindi, pero like, yeah, I got
Yeah,
really emotional dun sa
yeah,
isang part. Lalo na, they asked me about yung mga hardships ko
yeah.
in becoming like an artist. And meron talagang isang scenario. Distort monsters na ako nito na sobrang hirap. Like, ano siya, crossroads. Tipong, if I did not hold on to certain beliefs, if it weren't for the things that I've been through sa past, if it weren't for certain people that I encountered who said certain things to me, I would have quit then and there. So, grabe yun. Si Egg. Si Egg
Yeah.
yung isa sa mga sobrang influential na tao sa akin. Egg was one of the reasons why I pushed through with leaving my day job.
Yeah.
Egg is also such a huge reason why I was able to transition from doing purely street art and graffiti and into like the formal art scene. Siya reason kung bakit na dumami yung yung mga shows ko and opportunities. And like I was actually talking with him. I talked briefly with him during Art in the Park. Like I was thanking him for lahat ng mga naging guidance niya sa akin. I was telling him, parang Egg, I would have never made it to this point kung hindi dahil sa'yo. And he was getting, parang naiirita siya. Na parang, ano ka ba?
Yeah.
Like, like he was telling me, like, this has been your energy ever since we met you. Like, where you are now is because you put in the work. Tapos ganyan, ganyan. And it was like really flattering to hear him say that. Pero ako talagang ininsist ko na, Egg, I may have put in the work. Parang nag-grind talaga ako to get where I am right now. But I learned so much from being around you and all the other guys. Like, kahit na tingin mo you weren't teaching me things directly, I was learning via the examples that you guys set. Like, hindi mo man ako tinuruan paano magpinta. Like, I learned my way around the industry because of you guys. So, yun yung sinasabi sa kanya.
Mm, mm,
Tapos
mm.
wala, sinushoot down niya lang ako. Parang, di wala eh. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
parang sinasabi niya na, like, all he was saying was, ang sabi niya sa akin was, if ever daw na may magsabi sa akin na sila yung dahilan kung bakit ako nandito ngayon. Kupal daw yung tao na yun. And it's not true. Pero like all I was trying to tell him was, like, okay,
Yeah.
like, well and good, but I'm not saying that alam mo yun, parang, hindi mo naman kine-claim na ikaw yung dahilan kung bakit ako nandito.
Yeah.
I'm just merely acknowledging your influence over me.
Yeah.
And for that, I'm really grateful.
Yeah.
So,
There's so much power, no, in whether formal or informal mentorship, whether they know that you exist or not, right? Because we gravitate, right? We emulate, we learn from them. In my own way, like siniseryoso ko kasi yung you're the average of the five friends that you associate yourself the most, right? Tapos dumating din ako sa crossroads ng buhay ko. Tapos parang, love ko yung barkada ko, pare. Pero parang, may mga kailangan din ako gawin sa buhay ko eh. Right? Tapos, I was looking around and I couldn't find anyone parang who I felt that I could connect with in where I wanted to go or who I wanted to be. Tangina, YouTube, pare. Naghanap ako ng virtual mentors ko. They don't know I exist. They'll never know that I exist, right? But I guess in that similar way, right? Hindi naman nila ako tinuruan eh. Pero feeling ko, tinuturuan nila ako. Parang gumawa ako ng sarili kong mundo. Tapos tangina, inabsorb ko na ng inabsorb yun. And I also wouldn't be where I am now in this, at this level of realization, right? This level or degree of self-work. If I didn't associate myself forcibly with with these kinds of people, right? So yeah, man. I mean, I'm sure nakaka-cringe nga nung sinasabi mo sa kanya yon. Parang tanginan tong taong to. 'Di ba? Parang may ganong aspect, no? But uh, I really believe, no, that mentorship is one of the most powerful things that you can receive and that you can do for someone, right? So,
yeah,
yeah.
like,
No.
I really, I agree completely. Like, I really believe that. And so, ayun nga, with, like, I was sharing earlier, like, how much I believe in, like, the idea of community. Like, someone once told me, rising tides raises all ships,
Mm,
right? So, like, let's onboard everybody onto the
yeah.
space. Let's help each other out.
Yeah.
I also mentioned earlier that I'm not competing with anyone
Yeah.
else other than myself. Diba? So, like, if I encounter other people doing the same thing as me, as long as, like, okay siya bilang tao, okay naman yung vibe niya, like, kaya ko siyang sabayan.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. Like, let's collaborate. Let's do something. Let's work together. Gawa na tayong art or
Yeah.
whatever it is,
Yeah.
right? So, that in mind, um, with the Discord community of Monster Mayhem, I'm really trying to make it a point to cultivate yung creativity ng mga tao in the server,
Yeah.
which is why we do a lot of art talks, a lot of art challenges, and for those part of, like, the Discord community, like, I tell everyone, like, communication lines are open.
Yeah.
If there's anything that you guys want to know about yung mga experiences ko, like the things that I went through to, properly establish myself as an artist, parang sige, parang pag-usapan natin. Let's talk about it. Like, if you need someone to help guide you through the industry, just ask. And, like, I will share what I know.
Yeah.
Again, I'm no expert, but, like, I'd like to say na kahit papano naman, Like I have some experience with certain things. So like I can share what I know, and what you guys are going to do with that knowledge is up to you.
Yeah.
I'd really like to see everyone succeed. Like I want to see people in the community step up and take things further. Alam mo yun?
Yeah.
Parang, yeah, like, let's just all push each other. Kasi nakakagana rin siya eh.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
diba? Like,
Yung
if
energy
you
na yon,
see,
pare.
diba? It's
Yeah.
contagious. It's
Oh,
really contagious,
oh, oh. Gets.
Like, let's inspire people to inspire others, and
Yeah.
and in turn become inspired
Yeah.
ourselves. Like, let's feed off all this really positive, creative energy,
Yeah.
and like let's do something with our lives, right? Like,
Mm.
let's make art.
Yeah. No, yeah. And I think yun nga pare, parang wala sa sinasabi mo na tangina kailangan ko yumaman, kailangan ko sumikat. Walang ganun eh, no? Talagang gusto mo art. Yun yung goal mo eh. Yun yung vision, diba? Parang yun yung ultimate mo eh. Yun yung end mo. Yun yung North Star mo. The end of the day, you're gonna keep doing things so you can keep doing art or making art or creating art, right? And that's your virtuous cycle. Diba? Paikot-ikot lang siya. Yun yung flywheel mo. Yun yung, okay, so, create ako nito. Tapos ito, of course, may economics aspect yon. And this economic aspect or gain, it's gonna help you again create more art. Tapos yun nga, you're sharing. You're building your community. And I subscribe to that. Tangina yung swapang pare. Mabubulok yun, bro. Mabubulok yung swapang. At the same time, that yung swapang na yun will stagnate and will fade into obscurity. 'Di ba? So, yeah man. I mean, ang astig, pare. Ang astig.
Funny you should say, oh, like you mentioned the word obscurity.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like I have something to say about that word.
Mm.
So one of the reasons why I really love community, like I love the idea of community. I love pushing the people around me. Like I guess it has a lot to do with my street art and graffiti background. Street art and graffiti is a temporary thing.
Mm.
Like you can paint something only to have it painted
Over.
over like the next day or kung ano man. Like I've done public walls na tipong kami ng best friend ko dati ang hilig namin mag-marathon sa isang araw. So like we'll pick like a specific area. So okay, itong area na to sa QC, commute tayo papunta dito, may baon tayong backpack na puro paint.
Mm.
From morning to late afternoon, maglalakad kami around the entire area. Lahat na makita namin, gagawa namin. So like, we'll paint a wall. So alam mo yun lang, okay, tapos na tayo move to the next spot. Tapos pag pauwi na, yung ginawa namin earlier, wala na.
Ganun
Diba? So
kabilis
like,
lang. Yeah.
ganun lang kabilis. But that's okay. Alam mo yun,
Yeah.
like the fact that we were able to go out and do it and document what we did, that's more than enough for us as street artists or as graffiti writers. So, alam mo yun, like I'm really used to having my works up temporarily.
Mm.
Something na a number of traditional art collectors don't quite get. So like for example, if I do a mural in a gallery or like my event na I have to do a live mural, like people always ask, oh, ano mangyayari dyan sa wall after? I just say like, probably paint over it or something.
Yeah.
And parang nanghihinayang sila.
Wala kang
Pero like,
attachment to it. Like,
there,
yeah.
there's no attachment. Because like, alam mo yun, like, I'm already happy that I was able
Yeah.
to do it, right? And I
Yeah.
was able to document it. Like I know for a fact that for a brief moment in time
Yeah.
that this particular artwork existed. And so, you know, I guess that sort of mindset really stayed with me. Tapos, alam mo yun, how do I say this? Like, people may know me now. I mean, like, yeah, sure, like a bunch of people know me now, and it's a big help that, like there are all these articles coming up, like we have this podcast too, and like all the other video interviews. We have exhibits, like art in the park, and all those things. So, like in a way, like more and more people are becoming aware of my works. But in the greater scheme of things, I'm a nobody.
Mm.
Parang I can't compare myself to, like, say, si Cos. I can't compare myself to him yet, right? So, or like Banksy, like
Yeah.
everyone knows
Yeah.
Banksy. I'm nowhere near that level. So, alam mo yun, maybe I'll get there. Maybe I won't. Basta ako, gagawa lang naman ako. And the thing is, whether people remember me or not, let's say, I don't know, 50, 100 years, 500 years, 1,000 years, or like whenever. Basta like down the road, I don't know if people are going to remember me or my works. Pero that's okay, even if they don't. What's important for me is that the culture keeps going. So, I mean, kaya important sa akin na napupush ko yung culture and community.
Yeah.
Like, who knows? Maybe some of these kids are gonna start doing art, or like maybe they'll do street art or graffiti because like maybe they saw my work somewhere.
Yeah.
And like whether sabihin nila sa akin yun or hindi, or whether ako nga ba talaga yung naging reason for them to pick it up.
Yeah.
It could be like one of my colleagues, or like some of my friends rin sa eksena. Like the important thing is that they went out and did it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And di ba, parang that way, if they keep pushing, eventually they're going to, like inspire other people to pick it up, and the cycle goes on and
Yeah.
on. Like I'm here right now because I saw all those older guys painting. And sina Egg, well, si
Yeah.
Egg, I mean, like, visible pa rin si Egg eh. But like, there are other veterans, yung mga kung tawagin mga OG, yung
Yeah.
mga OG ng
Yeah.
eksena,
Yeah.
di ba? A lot of, uh, alam mo yun, like, a lot of newer street artists or graffiti writers, parang hindi na nila kilala yung mga nauna.
Mm.
Hindi na nakilala si Boy Agimat, or let's say si Death Industry, uh, or si Octo,
Mm.
or kaya si Unga, yung apat na founders ng PSP, or Filipina Street Plan. That's the
Mm.
first and the biggest Philippine street art collective. So like people may not know them anymore, but may eksena tayo dito dahil sa apat na tao na
Yeah.
yun. And so, di ba, parang
Yeah.
like I'm here because I witnessed those guys.
Yeah.
And if by putting in the work, I can maybe, like inspire, influence others to get into the culture, sobrang saya na ako.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I just want people to keep the culture alive.
Yeah.
Like, what we're doing now, like what we do as street artists or as graffiti writers only makes sense for as long as the culture lives on.
Yeah.
If no one is going to, if wala nang gumagawa sa streets, then like everyone's going to forget lahat ng mga nag-contribute sa culture.
Yeah.
Titigil yung culture, mawawala siya.
Yeah.
And all for nothing lahat ng pinaghirapan namin. So, yun siya.
Yeah.
Yun ang naalala ko when you
Yeah.
mentioned the word
Word of-
obscurity.
Tsaka nga pare, parang ako believer din ako na tangina kailangan may ambag tayo sa mundong to eh. Di ka pwedeng mamatay tangina nang wala kang ambag. I mean, we can't leave this world nang it's not better or we didn't do anything to make it better. Like the way we found it or the way we entered it, right? So, yeah, man. Ako pare, I really want to acknowledge you, Migs, no. Number one for your candidness, for your openness, no, sa kwento mo sa mga bote ng ihi na lumi sa fireworks, no. So no, really, kasi it's also very refreshing and inspiring to hear people who are great at what they do but are also generous and open about it. We need more of that today. You know, there's so much shit going on, right? And the
It's very
last,
true.
diba? And the last thing that we need is people gatekeeping or being exclusive or diba? Parang tangina wala tayong mapupuntahan nun eh. Right? So, alam mo yun, where you are now is really an accomplishment and obviously it's not gonna stop. Obviously the momentum is on your side, right? Um and hearing you saying na hindi kailangan na yun nga to keep the culture going, right? That's a major lesson for all of us. 'Di ba? Kasi pare kanina ang dami mo na sinabi, 'di ba? Tayo na deep dive, right? You get into that. There's the vision, there's the skills building, and all of those things. Like, you've really grinded it out and you continue to grind it out. But yun na nga, parang tangina never siya for yourself. Now it has come out na no, because you want to keep the culture going. The same way na may mga nagbigay sa'yo, may mga nag-discover, alam mo, may nagbukas ng pinto na to para sa'yo. Now you want to keep that going. Right? So, yeah, man. Salamat doon, pare.
I really stand by um, the phrase rin na authenticity attracts authentic people. Right? Sabi ko rin kanina, real, recognize,
Yeah.
real. So like, pakatotoo ka lang sa sarili mo and like, everything else follows.
Yeah.
Right? So, we attract the same energy that we put out.
Yeah.
So parang like, you gotta,
Everything is energy exchange, pare. So, kung nega tayo, tangina, nega din yung lalapit sa'yo, di ba? Parang, so kung good vibes ka, di ba? Kung open ka, yeah, man. Yun ang makukuha natin, right? So, well,
exactly.
I don't wanna, well, thank you for your time, pare. Thank you for, I know you've been so busy and 3 hours na tayo, so tangina, solid.
I didn't
Maraming
even
salamat.
feel like it was 3 hours.
I
Like,
really enjoyed our conversation. It's
likewise.
It's such a pleasure
This is fun.
yeah, man, to meet you. Well, at least to meet you virtually. So definitely, I'd love to meet you in person, 'di ba?
For sure, di ba?
Pare. Minsan susulpot na lang ako dun sa mga event na yon, pare. May tito bigla doon na tangina. Ano nangyayari
Uy,
dito?
you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
na may mga ibang tito and tita rin sa community.
Yeah, yeah. Ang ano pare, actually, like, well, yun nga, before I end an episode, I also ask like a few questions, no? Parang simple questions. So, the idea of it is like to squeeze you, to squeeze my guest
Okay.
as much wisdom, no, as we can get. Kasi runong is from karunungan. So it's wisdom. Um so yeah, just have few questions, pare. Try to answer it as best or as simple as you want it to be.
Okay.
All right, man? Sige.
Yeah, let's go.
What's the best advice you've ever received?
Okay. Easy. Don't make a backup plan.
Do you want to
Sabi,
explain? Do you want to
yeah,
expound on it?
okay.
Yeah.
This is something that Egg told me
Oh,
before I decided to make the leap from an office job and into like doing art full time. Sabi niya, you're really going to struggle. Mahirap ang path na to. And if you have a plan B, the moment you hit rock bottom, you're going to want to default. Pero kung wala kang plan B, if there's nothing for you to fall back on, saan ka pa pupunta? 'Di ba? Nasa baba ka na, wala ka nang ibababa palalo. So where else can you go but upwards? So don't make a backup plan, stand your ground and fight for what it is na gusto mong gawin. Like I said, if the, yung sabi ko kanina na if I didn't receive like certain advice from certain people before, like I would have quit.
yeah.
This is like one of those main things.
Solid. What's the worst advice that you got?
Worst advice, I don't know, to be honest. Like parang wala naman. Like I guess there's always something useful naman from what other people say. Like kahit naman na what like if someone gives you certain advice
Yeah.
and it's not something immediately applicable, maybe it's something that you can use further down
Down
the
the
road,
line. Yeah.
diba?
Yeah.
Yeah, down the line or
Yeah.
maybe like you could just learn by doing the opposite of what that other person said.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like similar to like how my dad told me like I had like a 1 in a million chance of making it as an artist. Hindi ako nakinig.
Yeah.
So so yeah,
Yeah. What's the best thing that you've done for yourself recently?
that's the best thing that I've done for myself recently. Uh I guess powering through all the deadlines. I mean like it's been a really stressful few months to the point na like it's really tough. Ang daming sabay-sabay like yung Art in the Park show. Um, sobrang dami ko ng backlog ng commissions na mamumulit na rin yung mga collectors. And then I have like this whole Monster Mayhem NFT thing. So we did the Wave 2 release recently. And then, like yung pag-manage sa community and all my other relationships. So, like ang hirap nilang lahat i-juggle lang sabay-sabay. But, like I just told myself I am where I want to be. I put myself in this position. Lahat naman ng bagay na yun pinili kong gawin. So, like I guess don't be too hard on myself na lang kasi mahirap na lahat ng mga ginagawa ko sabay-sabay. So,
Yeah.
yeah, be nice to myself. Just power through, get through it. And yeah, like looking back now na things are a bit a bit calmer. I mean like it's still honestly quite busy. Lalo na I have an upcoming solo show this June 19 sa Secret Fresh and then July 28 sa Hong Kong. So, hindi ko naman iniisip ko bakit ako nag-back-to-back solo show. So busy talaga.
Yeah.
But alam mo yun,
Sold
like,
out naman eh. Sulit pare. I'm sure.
yeah, yeah. So like, ayun, like, yeah.
Yeah.
The nicest thing that I've done for myself is getting through all those things and getting like even like a tiny bit of breathing room,
Yeah.
konting vuelo before really diving head on
Yeah.
to all these other things.
Yeah. Sorry, kailangan ko lang tanungin to. Do you feel validated with all of these things going on for you now? Nandun ka na ba sa
Um,
point na tangina? Yeah.
Honestly, like it feels great na people recognize my work. Lalo na, alam mo yun, I really did put in a lot of work for the past decade or so. Like it's been what? It's been like maybe 13 years since I started my journey as a graffiti writer or street artist. But like even longer just living life.
Yeah.
So I mean all the years that went by, all the steps that I took got me to this point, and I'm really grateful for that. And like being recognized for the work that I put in has been great.
Yeah.
It's been honestly great. Like nakakatuwa siya. May mga times na talagang nakakilig. Parang people I never imagined I'd get to talk to magpapagawa ng mga paintings. Like I get to talk casually with certain people na alam mo yun, hindi naman sila
Yeah.
nakakausap talaga ng ibang tao.
Yeah.
So like it's been really great. But at the same time, I like to remind myself na in the greater scheme of things, I'm still a nobody. Like there's more work to be done, more works to be painted, and like there are more lessons to be learned. Like life is a constant process of learning, unlearning, and relearning. So we just gotta, keep pushing forward. And I like to tell that to myself to keep grounded. You know, like, well, like, like there are great moments here and there, and you feel validated. But at the end of the day, you gotta keep pushing. You
Yeah.
gotta keep working towards kung ano yung vision ko para sa sarili ko.